Okay, we're continuing with the notes for Algebra 2. This is section 1.3, page 2, and there'll be a couple more after this pages. So we're going to, in this case, distribute first if needed, and then we'll check to see if we have to do anything else. All right, there is a distributive property part here. You can see a multiplication on the outside of a subtraction inside. That's what you're looking for, by the way, with distributive is multiplication on the outside and addition or subtraction on the inside. Okay, the distributing is done. Now we're supposed to clear fractions, and that gets skipped because there are no fractions in this problem. Now we're going to gather like terms. All the things with x's in them go to the left-hand side, or you can actually make the opposite choice. But I'm going to take the x's to the left and all the constant numbers to the right. So we have a 3x minus 8x already over here, and here comes a plus 5x to join it from the other side. Once again, notice that the sign changed when it jumps the fence and goes to the other side of the equal sign. 7 and here minus 10, and the minus 10 comes from this one going over to the other side of the equal sign. Okay, when you add all these up, you get 0x equals negative 3. That's simplifying, so we just simplify. And we have a little bit of an issue going on here. First of all, you can't divide by 0. The other is 0 times the number x is never equal to negative 3, so this is never true. In fact, 0 times any number should give 0, not negative 3. So we're going to say there's no solution. You can do it three ways. No solution, you can abbreviate like this, or you can use an empty set. A lot of people don't like doing that. And the third way is a circle with a full long slash on diagonal like that. All of those mean no solution. Okay, when we get down to solving equations that don't have a lot of numbers in them, it gets more complicated. We're going to try and get the t by itself in this first problem. And the keywords distribute, clear, gather, simplify, and divide. We don't need to distribute on this one. There's no fractions to clear. All the terms of t are on the right, and the terms on the other side don't have t. So we're good there, no gathering. There's really nothing to simplify. So in this case, we're just going to divide by whatever is in front of that variable we're looking for. I'll clean it up a little bit. D over R is the answer. Okay, the next one here, I'm going to go ahead and put the steps out. Distribute, clear, gather, simplify, divide. In this case, there's no distributing to do. There's no clearing of fractions. There are no fractions. The terms with C in it are on the right, and it's that term CDE that has C in it. But the other term is already separate from it, so we don't have any gathering to do. Simplifying, there's no simplifying. But we do want to divide, and the goal here is to get rid of everything except for the C on the right. So I want to get rid of D and E. And the D's and the E's would cancel. So let me clean it up. C is equal to A over DE. Okay, example 10. Let me write down the steps again. Distribute, clear, gather, simplify, and divide. No distributing in this problem. You don't even see a plus or minus sign, so it can't have a distributing. Clearing fractions. This one has a fraction, and so I'm going to multiply both sides by 3 to get rid of the 3 and clear it out. 3 divided by 3 times 1 would be 1. So this is 1 times yx. And I'll erase that 1 in a minute here. So that's equal to 3z or 3z. The reason I don't do the standard American Z like that is it can look like a 2. So I'll put that extra crossbar on it. Now we're trying to get the y by itself. So I'm going to divide both sides by x squared here. And there we have it. Y equals 3z over x squared. Okay, the next one here, solve for n. And the steps are distribute, clear, gather, simplify, and divide. This one does have a distributive property, so let's go ahead and do it. 3n minus 3t. There are no fractions to clear, but we do need to gather all the n's on one side. So we'll do that. And I'm going to do that by taking these over to the right. And this one that's got n in it, it's coming back. That term is joining the 3n. So 3n plus 5n equals 3t plus 2. You'll notice that almost everything changed signs. The only one that was not moving was that 3n. So that gives me, I'm going to come over here a little bit to keep out of the way of the next problem. That's 8n equals 3t plus 2. So we'll divide by 8. And you have your answer. Okay, number 12 is a pretty tough problem. And when you run across this in your homework, hopefully you'll remember that I have one like it in the notes. All right, let's put the steps down. Distribute, clear, gather, simplify, divide. There's no distributing in this problem. There's no fractions to clear, but we do need to gather the x's that we're solving for. I'm going to take the cx over to the left, and I'll take the b the other direction. So it's ax minus cx equals negative, or the opposite of b is a better way to read that. Now, in the previous problem, when we had 3n plus 5n, we wrote 8n. That's because we know what 3 and 5 are, and we also know the new number, 3 plus 5 gives 8. But down here, where I don't know what a is and I don't know what c is, the best I can do is write the difference here as a minus c. So this is going to be a minus c times x. Now, if you're a little foggy on that, you can see that it's AC minus, AX right here, minus CX. Distributing will get you right back up to the line up top. Now, earlier we had consolidated and got 8, but here we have to leave it as this new number A minus C, whatever that is, and you're going to be dividing both sides by A minus C. Now, I will caution you throughout this year not to cancel next to a plus or minus sign. So if you had canceled those two, that'd be a mistake. If you canceled the other two, that'd be a mistake. But because this product, A minus C, or that A minus C there, that difference actually has a times next to it right there, that can be canceled as long as you do it all at once. So we've got the answer here. The answer is the opposite of B over A minus C. And if you multiply top and bottom by -1, you get the alternate version of it, which simply changes all the signs in the problem. That's a tough one. It's the step from here to there that is hard. Okay, solve for R, and we have a fraction in here, but let me just kind of go through the steps again. Distribute, clear, gather, clear, gather, simplify. I did that wrong. I'll just flat out do it over again. Distribute, clear, gather, simplify, divide. Okay, distributing is non-applicable. There is a fraction to clear. Let's multiply both sides by p. And the first round right here, the p will cancel off. And then you get minus p times n. And over the underside, you get p times k, or k times p. All right, we cleared the fractions. Now we need to gather everything with r on one side, which means I have to take that over, and I'll essentially be done. pk plus pn. Don't forget to change the sign when you take something over. Okay, I know this says page 10 down there, but ignore that. Some of you have different page numbers. So this is the second page of the notes for section 1.3.